Naindi mubia teta skavinga kondo tumbanisa ili votu tusioke vamusine wa ilobi vala mudhenyane wa umundi Koti wa Supreme whether witania Myaka 10 neli ya Uthukumi wa yonaindi ni chathikila kitongwe weni President William Ruto munini wake Professor Kithure Kindiki na musili munene wa makwani Martha Koome kati wa ndongo ingi naindi mwandikito mwovo ula ni Gideon Nzioki nevikite ndini wa chathiki.
President William Ruto kuyo muthini watongwesa chathi cha kutania Myaka 10 ya Uthukumi wa Koti munene Wina Ukumu Supreme Court chathi kila chatoewe myakoni ya Koti uva musini wa Ilovi. Ainene anthini wa chathi kiu musili munene wa makwani mwandu Martha Koome ni wawetakana asilima makwani kotini munene Wina Ukumu wa Supreme Court kana mayeke ya angaliko imwe ya kiuteti kavinde kala mekumya utiwo kuwa yasekana mathukuma awe awo kuyanana na mea na ukusi ula wa umwambe wa koti u.
The court inevitably gets drawn into disputes relating to the exercise of a political mandate, and this has led to the court being subjected to political verification and being a target of political rhetoric over the past 3 electoral cycles. I want to take this opportunity to assure Kenyans that in the discharge of our mandate, we do not get drawn into making political decisions. We look for legal solutions for political disputes. The judges are politically neutral and are concerned with only determining the legal and evidential issues before the court, irrespective of their political ramifications.
Nake President William Ruto ni wakathi ya Uthukumi wa Koti kwa kila ukuwetata kuungamana ivindi ya muongo na kwithiwa na wiki kuna katiba kanthi ya Kenya kutetea haki cia ene nthi na kuigiria haki ni akwatikana kwa kila mundu.
14 years after the promulgation of the Constitution, we continue on the journey of implementing the vision for a stable, secure, prosperous, open, and democratic society grounded in freedom, justice, and the rule of law. And central to this monumental endeavor is the Supreme Court, which has guided the judiciary in orienting the national ideology towards the legitimate pursuit of every aspiration and resisting the temptation to compromise our values for the illusion of political expediency, however well-meaning. 12 years after its establishment, it is difficult for us to imagine how the Republic of Kenya existed for many decades without a Supreme Court. It has helped us reject the many false dichotomies that once constrained our policies and politics, including the belief that freedom must be sacrificed for security and that democracy and stability are mutually exclusive, or that sustainable development is the monopoly of the centralized government. We've heard Sakaja speak very eloquently about what the Supreme Court has done on matters devolution. It is therefore fitting that this conference invites us to reflect on the Supreme Court's jurisprudence over the past 12 years. In doing so, we recognize both successes and areas for critique as we consider the court's evolution, its impact on Kenya's constitutional landscape, and its commitment to protecting the rights and aspirations of all Kenyans.
Oingi President William Ruto ni watumia eviso yiku mukathi ya munini wake Professor Kithure Kindiki ayasi ojue na utanu nundu wa kwithwa na munini mwe wa President musio na ulani Professor aiweta kana nuto na umutethesya vanene kumusomethia na kutongwesya nthi ya Kenya na mbe.
What happens when we have judicial overreach and judicial interference? Who will help us to resolve it? You know, I know these are, and I hope I'm not making difficult things here. I'm just asking myself as a layman, and maybe I now have a good deputy, a professor. Maybe he'll help educate me when we have some time. But again, I would really want to ask ourselves, and so that as we restrain ourselves as the executive not to interfere not to overreach on matters that are in the purview of the judiciary or other arms of government for that matter.
Nake munini wa President Professor Kithure Kindiki na ulaye vikite cha thini kini wakathi ya uthukumi wa koti munene wina ukumu wa Supreme Court kwa kutumia nzia cia matukuana kuigithia akini ya kwatikana kwa mituki aiweta kana.
Jurisprudence has been quite groundbreaking, and on that front I think it will be unfair for any assessor to actually fault the performance of the Supreme Court. To deliver the public good called justice, of course, the court has to do that through its jurisprudence and through the decisions they make. The court has also done very well in terms of the infrastructure, the software, the technology bit. And among the arms of government and the agencies of government, I think the judiciary is ahead of the rest of us. I remember my Lord Chief Justice Maraga when we were confronted with the predicament of COVID, issued certain rules, which we now call the Maraga rules, practice rules, which actually made justice, faster, more efficient, more convenient, even if we were all locked down by this public health emergency called COVID. And even after COVID lapsed, it appears that the way of the future in the administration of justice will be through the virtual courts and making sure we spend little time or as less time as possible in physical engagements in court.
Ndilivoti ya Ngumba TV kuma bamusini wa Ilovi nitawa Gideon Nzioki.
Hani mwana mseso sunu mwandu kitoa mauvola ni Gideon Nzioki hevi kitendeni uwa chadhi chuto